Hello! This is very exciting. Tonight we come to the end of the Women's Prize for Fiction season for 2021, and it's finally going to be announced tonight after a delay. It feels like this has been a very extended season, and for the past year and a half, anytime a book prize has happened, I've just been here in this space reacting to it because I haven't been able to go out and meet in person. But tonight I'm actually going to be able to go to the prize party and see Anna and see authors and see other book people and just enjoy in the celebration of literature. And it's going to be so lovely and nice. And I know it's being streamed online, so some of you may have watched the announcement already, but I thought it'd be fun to do a vlog and like take you along to the party, and I can chat with Anna hopefully, and we can have a bit of like discussion around it, and we can find out which of these 6 books will be crowned the winner. And I know it's almost always I make predictions, and Anna and I make predictions about what do we think is gonna win, and I don't really feel like doing that tonight because I'm just so excited and happy to be able to go out in person to be celebrating literature in this way. And really I would be happy for any one of these books to win. They've all been really unique, fascinating reading experiences, and I've so enjoyed following along the prize this year with all of you from the early stages of guessing what might be on the list, and then talking about the long list and reading the long list and discussing all the books, and finally getting down to 6 books and having really great discussions about all of these books. And there's so much to say about them that I'm just so happy for all of it to be happening that I'm excited to just join along with it. And I mean, I always say this with book prizes, it doesn't really matter to me all that much who wins, because it's really the whole process that counts. And I think especially now of actually physically coming together, you know, it's going to be so special. And so even if Patricia Lockwood wins, I'm going to be happy because I know that'll make Anna really happy as well. And so, you know, maybe if Patricia Lockwood also wins the Booker Prize this year as well as the Women's Prize, which Larry from his BookTube channel, he reminded me recently in the comments that is something that technically could happen. She could win both the Women's Prize and the Booker Prize this year. I might have an issue then, but for tonight, I'm just happy to celebrate, and oh, it's going to be so great to see Claire, like my friend Claire, and I'm so happy that she's been given this honor, and that we're going to be able to celebrate in person together for it. So it's going to be so wonderful to see her there, as well as the other authors and all the other bookish people. And so yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I've spent even more time like debating what I should wear for tonight, and so I'm wearing my snazzy new top that I've shown off before, that my parents got me recently, because I thought it was nice. It's very hot outside, so I didn't want to wear like a special jacket, and because that would be just way too hot. I did contemplate wearing my women t-shirt, which I just got recently for my birthday, which is from showing characters from the 1939 classic film The Women. If you've not seen it before, it is absolutely hilarious, and I did sort of want to wear this like just for fun, but I thought like, oh no, that's too casual. I want to dress up a little bit since I'm finally going out. But anyway, I'm going to stop prattling on and go off to the ceremony, and I'll try to film as much as I can and take you along with me and show you bits and pieces. So so exciting. Hello, I'm just making my way to the party, and I was passing by the British Library, so I thought I would just give you a glimpse of it. Look at this big display in Waterstones. The Rooney fever continues. Oh, but also they have a section for the Women's Prize. There they all are. Now this is so exciting. I was just passing through Bloomsbury, and who should I run into but Virginia Woolf. Yay, it's Virginia. Hi Virginia, how are you doing? So, who do you think will win the Women's Prize for Fiction tonight? Virginia? Oh, she wants to whisper it to me. Virginia says it is just about the joy of fiction. There are no winners or losers tonight. That is very well said, Virginia. I'm such a dork. Okay, I'm gonna get on to the party now. follow along this path to the party in the garden. Yay!
All I can say is welcome back to the Women's Prize for Fiction. Yes, we're still getting in the tent. The people at the back, I can see you talking. I'm going to start naming names of the talkers in a moment. The people who are torn out and suffer more, because I can see you. Because we have been a long time awaiting for this. So I'm Kate Mosse, I'm founder director of the Women's Prize for Fiction. And it's it's all right, we don't need to do it every time. But I'm honestly, I'm flattered. But it was 2 years ago since I last stood on this stage. And of course, I'm not going to say all the stuff about what's happened. We all know what's happened. But the Women's Prize has not been idle, as you would expect. So over this time period since I've last stood here, we have interacted and done so many things with hundreds of thousands of people. We have, or millions if you count social media. We have celebrated the 2020 and the 2021 shortlist with online festivals. Many of you came to that, but what it meant we could do, we could have people from all over the world listening to 6 incredible writers this year and 6 incredible writers last year, and we had thousands of people who could listen to those books, is to say the thing that we need to keep saying, and it's this, that books matter. They matter now more than ever. They help us to stand in other people's shoes. Millions of people were given solace and support and connection over these very, very odd months that we've had because we all read the same books. And we rang people up and we went on our screens and we passed the books on and said, what about this? Have you read this book? Have you read that book? Books, novels in particular, give us empathy. They help us to see the world in a different light. And everything about publishing a novel is to do with all of you here. Some of you are new writers, and really you're so welcome. All of us are readers. Many of you are publishers or agents, and you are the people that are getting these stories out. And the final thing that I want to say, which in a way I wish I didn't have to say, but we all watch the news. We need to keep saying that women's voices matter. We need to know that things go backwards as well as forwards. And we need to keep publishing incredible novels so that every single woman, whoever she is, thinks she's got the right for her voice to be heard. Not someone else speaking for her, but all of the writers who want to put their stories down on paper. And that's what the Women's Prize is about. And all of you new writers who are here, and the established writers are here. And now, here endeth the first lesson. So it's a different Bessie, but you will notice, ladies and gents, that there are 2 Bessies. There is double the trouble on this book. And this is because, and you will see one of them has got a mask on, which will be made clear at the moment. But we are, however, now are going to ask the chair of last year's panel, Martha Lane Fox, to come onto the stage and give Maggie O'Farrell, last year's winner.
It's been said before, but there are many, many, many things that we will take away from the last 18 months. Many of them very profoundly difficult, challenging, traumatizing even. But I take 3 things that will stay with me. The first is that the Women's Prize for Fiction can do anything, in any situation, through any circumstance. The second is that the Women's Prize for Fiction judges are awesome and can judge anything in any circumstance. You can have a few testimonies on Zoom, but I thank Scarlett Curtis, Melanie Usabi, Paula Hawkins and Viv Goscrop for all of their help in an incredibly strong year. They were phenomenal. But most importantly, and I really am so delighted to do this because one of the great joys of chairing the prize is to be able to be in person at these wonderful parties and to present the person with whom you've had this intimate relationship over the year that you've been reading their book. And no surprise that Maggie O'Farrell won last year, the 25th year, so an extremely significant year for the prize. She wrote the most extraordinary novel, Hamlet, which if you haven't read yet, please pick it up if you can find a copy, because it's had flying off the shelves over the last year. I went into one bookshop, I think I was in Dorset, and they looked at me as though I was insane. A copy of Hamlet, don't be ridiculous. It sold out months ago. But the book moves you so deeply. It transcends the time we lived in while being very rooted in the now, as it addresses the plague and all of the funny coincidences that came out of Maggie's novel in the time that we were living. But more than that, it's a story about women, and it's such an incredible read. I commend it to you. So without further ado, I will love to present Maggie with what every Bessie is wearing these days, a mask. Maggie, please come up.
To be at the party, isn't it? Yeah. To a party with real people and all these people looking at me. And you know, last year it was me and Paula Hawkins in a room in Edinburgh, which was nice. It wasn't a huge party atmosphere, I have to say. Then, as now, I'm hugely grateful to my brilliant editor, Marianne Harrington, my peerless agent, Victoria Hobbs, my genius publicist, Georgina Moore, my husband Will, and our 3 children, and most of all, I'm really grateful to the Women's Prize. I know I'm a little bit biased, but the Women's Prize is one of my favourite prizes.
Why not?
As a reader, it always defines my reading every year. It always adds interesting and challenging reads to the pile on my bedside table. And to be longlisted or shortlisted for this prize is to join a community and a family, you know, because it isn't just about the prize and the person who wins, it's about encouraging new voices and people who are wanting to write, and it's also about, you know, keeping a conversation about female creativity going. When I was given Betty last year, I had an email from a previous winner, Carmela Shamsi, and she said to me, Bessie feels good in the hand, doesn't she? I have to say yes, she does feel good. This year's shortlist is fantastic, it's really exciting, and I cannot wait to see who's going home with Bessie in their hand tonight. Thank you all so much.
So ladies and gentlemen, in 2021, will you please welcome to the stage the chair of the judging panel, Bernardine Evaristo.
So wonderful to see so many people here in the flesh. First of all, I'd just like to say, as I know we all appreciate, the Women's Prize has been a force for good for women's fiction for 26 years now, and it's been, you know, driven by Kate Mosse and her team. And we must always appreciate the people behind the scenes who are making things happen. And this prize has just become such an occasion, but also it's not just about the winners or the shortlisted authors or even the longlisted authors. It's about all the women writers out there whose reputations have been enhanced, who've been published even by the publishers because of this prize. So I think we should just acknowledge that. So we've been working on this prize for a very long time, and some of it was done remotely. We also were very lucky to meet in the room. I'd just like to say thank you to my fellow judges who have just been absolutely phenomenal. Elizabeth Day, who is a novelist, I'm sure lots of you know her, and also a television host and journalist, and Sarah Jane Mee, who is a television host and presenter, and Vic Hope, who is currently presenting the Drive Time show on BBC Radio 1. First woman of colour to do that, so that's pretty amazing. And Nesreen Malik, who unfortunately can't be with us today because she's been stuck somewhere for a very long time because of lockdown. And she's also an author and also a journalist. So, you know, very, very powerful women in the room, I have to say. I am the chair, but I just have an equal vote with everybody else. And our meetings were lively, productive, opinionated, all those things you want a judging panel to be. And we eventually came to the decision about a winner, which you're going to hear about in a minute. I just want to say, and perhaps this has become a bit of a cliche, but the long list was an amazing long list, and it was extremely hard to whittle it down to 6 authors. And then the 6 authors on the shortlist they're so varied. And sometimes it's really hard to measure books against each other because they're doing such different things. But we do think that these books are terrific books, terrific authors. Some of them are debut novelists, some of them are more experienced, and they're global writers. Not just in the fact that these writers are coming from different parts of the world, but they're also writing for the world. And we must remember that when we talk about women's fiction, we're talking about people writing for the world, not just for other women, which unfortunately is sometimes how that's perceived. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to, each of the shortlisted authors are going to come onto the stage to receive a bunch of flowers before I announce the winner.
Please welcome to the stage Brit Bennett. Susanna Clarke, Piranesi. Fuller Anita Sethi. Gyasi, Transcendent. Cherie Jones, Patricia, Lockwood, No One Is Taken.
What we're waiting for. The book we chose was chosen because the writing is sublime. The storytelling is exceptional, and indeed the story is out of this world, literally. And we felt that we were reading something that we hadn't read before. It just felt completely fresh and original. And also, it's the kind of novel that we found lingers in your subconscious long after you've read it, that it has this really profound, lasting effect. So the winner of the Women's Prize for Fiction 2021 is Piranesi.
The first thing that someone said to me when I knew I was on the shortlist for the Women's Prize was that everyone on the shortlist is a winner. And I thought that was a lovely thing for them to say, but I thought that was all it was. I thought it was just one of those lovely, encouraging things that people say. And then I realised my mistake, because the amount of celebrating that the Women's Prize does for the shortlist, the interviews and the reading, is just fabulous. And I think we all felt celebrated, and we all felt that they had just absolutely done their best to put us there out in front of the public. I have loved being a shortlisted author, so thank you so much. Love this too. Once I get over the shock. But according to Maggie, that I shouldn't expect that to happen for about a year. As some of you will know, Piranesi was nurtured, written and publicised during a long illness. It is the book that I never thought I would get to write. I never thought I'd be well enough. So this feels doubly extraordinary, doubly honoured to be here. And my hope is that my standing here tonight will encourage other women who are incapacitated by long illness. many, many people have helped me. I have a huge list of people to thank, but I'm not going to thank all of them. I am going to thank Alexandra Pringle, my wonderful Johnny Geller, my wonderful agent. Both of them immediately had faith in what I thought was a very odd book indeed. I want to thank Ros Ellis, my very kind and wonderful publicist. And most of all, I want to thank my husband, Colin Greenland, without whose support the book simply would not have been written. He has done what he could to help me flourish. Thank you, Colin. This is an immense, incredible honour. Thank you very much.
Prize for Fiction Bar is open.
Yay, I'm here with Claire in person. Finally, after virtual talk earlier this year, we had to see each other and touch, and yay! So yeah, I've been having a lovely time at the party, and we've had a few drinks, so yeah.
So we've been rambling.
Sadly, yeah.
Rambling.
But yeah, how have you found the whole experience?
It's been amazing. Yeah. So delighted to be shortlisted, of course. I think we're going to start at Great Book One. Really pleased to hear you one. I loved it. I read all the shortlist, and I loved it. And it's just nice to be here in person.
Yeah, it's such I always feel like the Women's Prize is like the loveliest atmosphere. What are your plans next? So you're working on a new book, and
New book.
still in the works.
My deadline is the end of November to finish the first draft. And then there's lots of editing, and then we have to see whether it gets bought by Penguin, and then, so, we're a long way off.
It's early stages, but it's in the works. Brilliant. So exciting. Well, yeah, I've just been so happy and excited for all of your success, and to see this wonderful ride you've been on. And it's been so lovely. It's almost this whole experience almost reminds me of a scene of the novel, in your novel, when they go to perform for the first time, and just this joyous experience of being together and with other people, and since so much of your book is about isolation and loneliness, and you have this rare moment of togetherness and joy and happiness of performing together, and that sort of feels like what this atmosphere is, isn't it? Of finally being with people again. It's so good to see you too. Hi, so I'm here with the lovely Anita Sethi, journalist and author who has just been nominated for the Wainwright Prize for her beautiful, moving memoir, I Belong Here, which, I found really incredibly moving. I just read it, and so
Thank you so
I
much.
did, yeah.
Thank you for your amazing YouTube review of it. It's just wonderful to have YouTube reviews, especially during the pandemic. It was so isolated and lonely, and I really got into YouTube videos like this and actually watching reviews in person. So thank you for helping to connect with me.
Oh, pleasure. So good. So it's wonderful to be back here in the live event.
It's to be in person. We can do hugs and not virtual hugs.
What have you been reading recently that you liked or loved?
I would absolutely recommend the amazing new book by Fuller Hawkins. It's called Slow Burning Fire, and it's just been announced that it's Sunday Times bestseller, went to #1, and it's super, super hot. It's called Slowly Burning Fire, but it is actually really hot. It's a really gripping thriller and really psychologically acute, and I'm so thrilled that Fuller Hawkins is patron of the I Belong Here Foundation. They've recently been announced, and she's donated enough to get 500 free copies of my book I Belong Here to people who can't afford to buy books, which is incredibly generous.
That's amazing.
Also an amazing writer, but also an amazing and generous human being. So thank you, Paula, and thank you everyone who reads books, who buys them, who borrows them from libraries, who downloads them, I've had 3 Baileys, so I can't speak, sorry guys.
Yay, so we've made it here at the party and we're together again. Yay! Finally, not just virtual conversations, but actually together. Yay! And we've had a few glasses of wine, so.
I'm a children's author.
No. And it's only had one.
Yes.
Only one. So yeah, it's been really exciting results. And
Yes.
I mean, I did actually, I was thinking Piranesi, but.
We had a feeling.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, I think this is okay to say because it was a public event, but I was at the shortlist readings last night.
Yeah.
And I would say that no criticism, but I would say Bernardine was chairing, and I do feel like her enthusiasm for Piranesi was clear. Yeah. But that's like, it was lovely, you know, like it wasn't like she wasn't critical of other books, but her love of Piranesi did come across, which did make me
one could make assumptions.
Did make me think that it narrowed it down to Brit, Bennett or Susanna, I think, for me. I'm delighted that Piranesi is where it's lovely to see a genre novel win.
Yeah, such a different kind of book.
Not that that's useful, honestly. Useful distinction, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really unclassifiable book in a way, but so unique.
Sort of official, like, you know, technically kind of genre-y to win. I'd love to see more fantasy on the prize in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just so lovely being at a party again and like seeing bookish people. And
it's only, we've had such lovely weather, it's spitting with rain now.
Yeah, we're getting a few drops now.
It's been beautiful.
Yeah, so such a great event.
And we just had a lovely chat with Maggie O'Farrell. They did a lovely, I'm sure you filmed it, but we had a lovely moment where the chair of the judges from last year presented Maggie O'Farrell with her Bessie, and I'm so glad that they incorporated that. It was lovely.
Yeah, really good to give her moment in the spotlight, in the actual spotlight, rather than just sat at home.
In the spotlight,
And yeah, she's such a lovely person. Yeah, it was really exciting to meet her and chat with her for the first time. I don't know, really good event. Hey, it's so good to be here. And thank you to all of you for following us over the course of this year. It feels like it's been a very long season.
This time, yeah.
but yeah, finally come to the conclusion, and it won't be long before the next Women Prize. Like I'm sure early next year is going to come around very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Some exciting books. I feel like I've read some exciting books.
Me too. I'm like already like speculating. It's so geeky. Already speculating. Like, oh, I think this might be listed next year. Yes. and so we just never stop.
Heard it here first. Alexandra Kleeman.
Oh, okay.
Nothing new under the sun.
I don't think I've heard of that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. Already thrown in a wild prediction.
If you never hear that book again, I never said anything.
Well, I just recently read Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead.
I'm partway through that.
Oh,
yes.
Brilliant.
Loving it so far.
Yeah, really good. So, I wouldn't be surprised.
We'll see if they emerge next year.
See what the judges think next year. But this has been so wonderful, and thank you for following along with our journey. And we will see you again soon. I got such a dork. Little sweat. Yay! So we've had beautiful weather until the rain has just started, and you can see that everyone is huddling under tents now. So silly old me, I didn't check the weather report before I went out this evening, and as I was walking from the party to here, the train station, it started, as the British say, tipping it down, and I am now completely soaked. I don't know if you can tell. I got really caught in the rain, and as I was leaving the party, someone ran after me and was like, "Do you want a goodie bag?" And it's like, "Yeah, okay, sure." So yeah, now I have a goodie bag, and I thought it would be fun in the few minutes that I'm waiting for my train to come to do a what's in my bag thing, because that's something that YouTubers do, isn't it? They say, what's in my bag? And then they do a video about it. So, you know, I'm trying to be a proper YouTuber. And so I haven't looked in this yet, so I'm gonna see what is in the bag. Okay, there's a copy of Grazia. Fun. And there's, oh yay, there's a copy of Unsettled Ground. Oh, Claire, yay. Oh, so lovely to see her at the party. And yeah, just so lovely to like meet in person and be able to have a good old chat with her and her wonderful husband. Yeah, they're both really lovely people. So yeah, I'll give that away to a friend. And what else is in the bag? Ooh, there's a bottle of Bailey's, yay. So that's what's in my bag. But yeah, it was such a great party. And yeah, thanks for following along. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the winner. If you had wished another book would won, if you've not read the winner, if you're interested in reading it now, let me know about that. And we can have a chat in the comments below. So thanks for following along with all of this, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.